Hi guys, so Blizzard had a question and answer on Thursday and they addressed a number of points, so I just wanted to go over some of them and give my thoughts on them. So Blizzard said that they had learned a lot from how patch 7.2 unfolded. They said on day 1 it felt like there wasn't a lot for people to do after the introduction, and I completely agree with that. I thought the opening quest scenario, where you do the assault on the broken shore, was brilliant fun, and I really enjoyed it. I think scenarios work really well when used in this way, and I hope they continue to do that. But once it was over, after about the 15 minutes or so it took you to complete it, and then you unlocked the world quests and a couple of side quests. And that was kind of it. There was literally nothing else to do. So what Blizzard have said is that with Argus, there's a ton of new stuff available right away. There are multiple chapters split into sub-zones. You will be able to play through the first 2 on day 1 and unlock world quests and other world content. Week 2 unlocks chapters 3 and 4, and week 3 you get the final chapter and the Netherlight Crucible. So it's still time gated as such, and I know a lot of people will hate that, but I don't have a problem with that because it's just a short wait before the final part unlocks, and it's only 1 week until another section of new content unlocks, and it sounds like they have at least provided enough content to fill for that small period of time. If they just gave us everything at once, you all know what would happen. People would just power through everything in 1 day and then no doubt complain at the end of it that there was nothing to do. By doing it this way, it allows people to enjoy the content at a steady pace and not just to rush through it all. So let's just all hope that there is a lot of content for us to enjoy. They also mentioned that things like dungeons, travel and the Netherlight Crucible, which is kinda like a mini talent tree for your relics, will be account wide. Again, this is great in my opinion, as it seems that they are trying to be a lot more alt friendly in this patch. Moving on to your third artifact relic slot, this will now be unlocked right away in patch 7.3 when you hit 110. This is really great, especially for new people who may have just started Legion, or for people who just want to re-roll, or for people who just have a number of alts that they want to play at max level. Whilst I'm sure a lot of people will already have completed their class campaign on their mains, having to do it on an alt or on a re-rolled main just delays you from doing current content, as having the third relic slot is something you really do need to obtain. For example, I have 7 alts at max level and 3 of them don't have the third relic slot unlocked, so this will save me a huge amount of time by removing the time gate from it. The time gate being the time it would take me to complete the class campaign. Blizzard have also said that you will no longer have to do the quest to unlock more artifact traits, which again is a good thing in terms of being much more alt friendly, as this is just something else that slows you down from jumping right into current content on your alt. Moving on to artifact knowledge, Blizzard have said that this will now be unlocked automatically, meaning there won't be any more need to research it. So this means we will apparently automatically level up 1 level of artifact knowledge per week. I'm pleased that artifact knowledge has been increased, as the gap between the amount of artifact power you need to gain an increase in your concordance is becoming more and more unobtainable with current levels of artifact knowledge. I made a video a few weeks ago addressing this issue, so I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to check it out. I'm not sure if there is a level cap to the new amount of artifact knowledge, but a lot of people seem to think it will be capped at level 50. And if that is correct, it will take us about 2.5 months to cap. Whether or not it's true or not, we will have to wait and see. I do think that this could be a sign of how the artifact power / artifact knowledge system is going to work after Legion if they decide to keep this kind of system, as it is a potential way for Blizzard to regulate how players progress their traits, since everyone will have the same level of artifact knowledge, making it an overall global effect instead of a character exclusive one. This means you should always be able to catch up and never pull too far ahead. Moving on to our Order Halt champions, Blizzard have said that there will be catch-up tokens from missions and chests that help you quickly increase the item level of your followers. So this one I'm super pleased about, as this has been one of the biggest issues for me on my alts, especially on my Monk and Druid. Trying to level followers for these 2 classes has been a particular nightmare, so having some form of item level boost to max them to 900 very quickly will be very helpful. I believe the new item level cap for alts will be 950. Remember, if we can max our alts followers to item level 900 pretty fast, then this could be a great way to earn gold, kinda like the way we obtained gold in our garrison in Warlords of Draenor. as there are quite a few gold missions that reward you with a nice amount of gold, especially if you 200% them. They also addressed that Nether Shards will continue to be used as catch-up mechanics for gear. The relinquished vendor is moving to Argus and will sell 9-10 item level gear. You will be able to buy specific relics, like holy relics or an iron relic, instead of just buying a relic and seeing what it procs into. They said that the existing relinquished items won't be expanded or upgraded, and not to bother holding onto your Nether Shards, as patch 7.3 has a new system. So far this patch is looking to be a really great one for alts specifically, as a lot of these things seem to be pretty decent catch-up mechanics. One of the biggest issues with Legion has been how un-alt friendly it has been, so Blizzard appear to really be addressing that issue in this patch. So let's talk about the Netherlight Crucible that Blizzard is also introducing in this patch. For those that don't know, the Netherlight Crucible is like a mini talent tree for your relics. Blizzard have said that relics in the Netherlight Crucible solve some of the problems of relic availability. Any relic can now have another trait that you wanted. In patch 7.2, players didn't have enough choice or control over the RNG. Whereas in patch 7.3, we can use the Netherlight Crucible to make a choice, giving you some level of control instead of the randomness. You won't have to have your worst trait because you can choose not to pick that bad trait. This again seems like a really great move, as in my opinion relics have been one of the biggest downsides to Legion so far. The fact that you had to get a relic with a specific trait to make it good enough to replace some lower level relic that just happened to have the better trait for your spec was insane. So now being able to pick a beneficial trait from a high item leveled relic can only be a good thing. This sounds a lot like reforging in my opinion. They also mentioned that Mythic Plus participation was up, which is a good thing as it means people are actually playing a lot of endgame content. They also mentioned that they were not currently planning on expanding the Mythic Plus system to dungeons from older expansions. I'm okay with this. I like the time walking dungeons and I do them when they come around, so I'm okay with them not making these Mythic Plus dungeons. I'd much rather they're focused on making new dungeon content and not going back to the old stuff, and just keep Mythic Plus dungeons for current content. So finally, I'd like to touch on Raid Finder difficulty. Blizzard said that there is no longer a desire to make Raid Finder a tourist mode. The team is hoping to make the difficulty closer to that of Mists of Pandaria. They've addressed the issue that there are some fights that are far too easy. So this is the one thing that really interests me. I myself don't like looking for raid, but I have absolutely no issue with it being in the game, as it serves a purpose for many people. And I'll admit, I still do it purely because it's quick and easy and has the chance to actually drop good loot, and also for the augment runes, which can help with raid progression or can be sold for a nice profit on the auction house. However, in the Tomb of Sagara's looking for raid, some of the bosses have been an absolute joke. The two that really come to mind are Desolate Host not even spawning the boss, and the Fallen Avatar not having the Maiden add as part of the fight. I understand on the Maiden of Virtue fight why the infusion mechanics were kind of removed, as having them would no doubt have caused numerous issues, but for the most part, no fight has offered any real challenge. I've done this many times on my alts to get some gear, and even at lower levels it feels far too easy. So I do think it would be nice to make it a little more challenging. I'd be really interested in the opinions of players that only do looking for raid, to see if they would like the difficulty increased, or if they think it's fine the way it is. Anyway guys, that's it from me. Please comment, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.